It didn't start with an explosion. There was no mushroom cloud, no sirens. The world is simple. He stopped. ATMs stopped working one day. The next day, traffic lights went out, causing a traffic collapse in megacities from Tokyo to New York. The medical equipment in the hospitals started producing fatal errors. Unmanned trucks were pulling off the tracks, and delivery drones were falling from the sky like shot birds. The first reports were chaotic. Experts blamed solar flares for everything. The politicians talked about an unprecedented cyber attack. Theories were born on the web about a new, unprecedented computer virus that struck not the programs, but the hardware itself. They were all wrong. The truth turned out to be simpler, and much scarier. She was hiding where no one was looking, in a glass of clean water. What if our entire civilization, from microchips to skyscrapers, from agriculture to space travel, depends on a single, fragile molecule whose secret of production may be lost forever? What happens if this invisible guardian of our health suddenly fails? To understand how the collapse occurred, you need to go back a few months before the world noticed the ticking of the time bomb. It all started quietly, almost imperceptibly. Ordinary people were the first to sound the alarm. In Dubai and Singapore, in Los Angeles and Tel Aviv, scattered complaints about the strange, earthy taste of tap water began to appear on social media. Municipal services issued reassuring press releases. Minor seasonal fluctuations, deterioration of local communications. All samples are within the normal range. No one paid any attention to this. The second bell sounded louder, but only a few engineers heard it. The largest desalination plants in the world, giant complexes that provide life to entire regions, have faced an inexplicable problem. Their state-of-the-art reverse osmosis membranes, the heart of any purification system, began to fail at an alarming rate. Their productivity has dropped by tens of %. They clog twice as fast, requiring expensive flushing and replacement. Corporations have launched internal investigations, suspecting industrial espionage or a hidden conspiracy by manufacturers to inflate the prices of consumables. They were looking for the culprits, but not the reason. The third symptom was the most tragic, but also the most confusing. Massive livestock deaths have begun on high-tech agricultural farms in the Netherlands, Israel, and Saudi Arabia, where every liter of water has been deeply treated. The animals suffered from kidney failure and neurological disorders. Veterinarians and biologists have gone off their feet looking for new viruses, toxins in feed, and genetic mutations. Water, as a possible source of the problem, was immediately excluded because it was ultra-pure. 3 different continents, 3 different problems, no visible connection. The world continued on its way to the abyss without even knowing it. The breakthrough occurred where no one expected it, in a small, independent laboratory of materials science. Dr. Liu, a scientist who has devoted his life to the study of polymer degradation, was testing a new microscopy method. Several engineers from desalination plants contacted him through their channels, who in desperation sent him samples of failed membranes. At night, while studying another sample under incredible magnification, Dr. Lee saw something that should not have been there. He saw microscopic ruptures, cavities, and ulcers in the thinnest active layer of the membrane. It was the same nanofilm that separated clean water from deadly impurities, salts, and microorganisms. But it was destroyed. Chemical analysis has shown the incredible. The key component, a synthetic polymer precursor codenamed Aqualink 734, is simple disintegrated. This invisible guardian, which held the planet's water supply, turned out to be defective. Dr. Lee's investigation has turned into a global scientific detective story. After comparing the supply data, he found out the shocking truth. 98% of the global production of Aqualink 734 was concentrated at a single, top-secret Omnichem plant, lost in the mountains of Southeast Asia. A factory that reported a critical production line failure a month ago and was completely mothballed. The key engineers, the bearers of the unique bioengineered synthesis technology, have disappeared without a trace. The formula was lost. All the membranes produced from the latest, defective batch of the precursor were a time bomb. And this bomb was installed in water supply systems all over the world. The disaster was no longer a hypothesis. It has already happened. Every new sip from the tap became a lottery. Cities built in the desert were the first to die. Dubai, once a shining oasis and a symbol of technological wonder, has become a monument to human arrogance. Its famous fountains have dried up and its marble bowls are cracked. The giant, rusting hulls of desalination plants on the shores of the Persian Gulf now resemble the skeletons of prehistoric monsters. Life has shifted from the upper floors of skyscrapers down to the streets. There, in the shadow of the glass towers, queues lined up for hours for army water trucks. A new routine has emerged, a new survival ritual that has set humanity back centuries. Boiling, defending, and a long, painful filtration through homemade, multi-layered structures made of sand, coal, and fabric. The hours that used to be spent on work and entertainment were now spent on extracting several liters of safe drinking water. Clean water has become a new currency, more stable than gold. A canister of drinking water could buy food, medicine, or a place in a secure shelter. We built a world out of glass and silicon, but all its greatness turned out to be meaningless without one drop of pure water. We believed that science and technology had made us invulnerable. We used to think that access to clean water is a basic given, guaranteed by our engineering genius. But today, more than 1.2 billion people live in regions where desalination and deep cleaning are the only reliable source of drinking water. And most of that water once depended on one tiny, complex molecule, whose formula may now be lost. We thought we had conquered nature. It turned out that we had only hidden our vulnerability in a single test tube.